Darth Plagueis comic series by Charles Soule. That sounds like an awesome idea because Charles Soule does a spectacular job with Star Wars comics, especially the Darth Vader comics. And so Charles Soule can tell a really cohesive big story while also incorporating several smaller but equally important stories within that big story. And so Charles Soule also does a great job with his characters. He will expand upon some minor characters like Jocasta Nu and Eth Koth and really make them even more interesting with the small storylines that he gives them. And he will really flesh out their character traits and personalities. And Charles Soule also does a spectacular job of creating completely new characters like Kirik Infala and Farron Barr. And Charles Soule does a great job of exploring moral complexities and ideologies and motivations behind people and actions behind people. He really gets deep into people and shows how complex people really are. And so I could go on and on about Charles Soule, but he does a spectacular job is the gist of it. So I think Charles Soule writing a Darth Plagueis comics would be phenomenal. And the reason I think there should be Darth Plagueis comics rather than a new novel about Darth Plagueis is because it would be nice to have a picture of Darth Plagueis, to have an image of Darth Plagueis, and to be able to see Darth Plagueis on a page. And I think it would be very different from the Legends version from James Luceno that we got. And it would sell very well. So if Charles Soule or anyone else were to do a Darth Plagueis comic series, I would probably want it to start from the time that Darth Plagueis is a child, or maybe a newborn, or maybe even before he's born. Or maybe I would want actually flashbacks. So I would want it to maybe start from the moment that Darth Plagueis is killed by Darth Sidious, and then go through Darth Plagueis' life a little bit. And, you know, maybe the comic can be out of order. Maybe it can jump around a little bit and show different parts of Darth Plagueis' life and how he came to be where he was. But anyway, one thing that for sure that I would not want in a Darth Plagueis comic is Darth Sidious. I think they should take Darth Sidious. I think they should not include Darth Sidious in a Darth Plagueis comic because we already know about Darth Sidious. We already know a lot about Darth Sidious, and I would want the focus to be solely on Darth Plagueis himself, and I would want to learn more about Darth Plagueis and what he's like. And I would only bring in Darth Sidious at the very end, or just have him be not as involved. And so maybe the comic can end when Darth Plagueis meets Darth Sidious for the first time, or whatever. So yes, that is my thought. And what species would Darth Plagueis be? Well, I mean, you could literally choose any species.